Hey guys, what's up? Evan from Stock Music Musician, and I'm happy to be making another video today. This is on editing hip-hop vocals, a really important technique to making your vocals sound way more professional, making the rapper sound like a real pro. And this is really going to focus on two things today: levels, really just levels, but the two ways of using it to make things more consistent and then to selectively mute out certain parts. So I've got a pretty much finished song here today, or at least a portion of a song. It hasn't been mixed, but the vocal track is most of the things I want to do to it have been done. So we'll give it a listen and I'll tell you what I was doing and why I was doing it. So it's going to be, we'll collapse these other two vocal tracks. This is sort of just a freestyle that we were recording, but it came out really well, so we ended up going with it.
Don't call me in, I do it, I got a lot of friends coming to, you know my ends are coming, I'm pulling off pedals again. Like she loves me not, oh wait, I'm pretty sure she loves me. Gave me a couple kids, I'm doing that, you understand it's not ugly. Among the best things I've ever seen, we try to connect with that, ruin it, no you know that's obscene. Try to move, you try to do it, I'm underwater while snorkeling in just some fluid. Ooh, it's cool, I'm eating cool with who are these motherfucking kings sitting around me asking things. What is this, the Spanish Inquisition? I'm not ready for the wings, so I jump without them. I do it, there's no fucking doubting. Me and Icarus climbing the mountain.
So the first thing I'm going to do is at the end. You notice this section I tagged in red. By the way, you can change clip colors by right-clicking on something and selecting clip color. And I just use red as a shorthand to let me know that we need to re-record that. He just sort of flubbed the take. So next time he comes in, we can bring it in. There's no amount of digital editing I can do to make him pronounce a word correctly. So that's one just really quick, helpful tip. You know, use color coding to help you figure out what you want, because you'll be going through this in stages. You'll listen to the vocals a lot. Maybe the first time, especially like here, I had 3 different takes, and so sometimes what you do is I'll highlight sections in different colors and know this is a great line here, this is a great line, and use those to put together. This is sort of the finished line here, but this particular phrase here, Icarus, just, I don't know what happened there. There's some digital distortion, but also some mispronunciation. So now the next thing that we're going to look at is here. You see I've cut the vocals so many times. And what is that all about? Well, that's about me cutting the vocals and then using the volume control here, the clip gain, to adjust the levels. Sometimes it's adjusting them down to mute breaths like that, to give it more of a natural feel, and sometimes it's to actually control the volume of the take. Like here you can see I boosted it a couple of dB so that instead of using, you can see right here, 1.2 dB, 2.8 dB, you can just drag it here, or you can use the numbers section here. And that makes it so that your compressor doesn't have to work as hard. You can also, for example, you could take one of these transients here and maybe hit R to do the razor tool and just sort of select this, maybe just pull it down just a tad so that it doesn't peak as much. So let's listen to that.
We try to connect with that.
And now let's listen to it before.
We try to connect with that.
So it sounds just a little more consistent, and this lets you take the volume of all of the track overall up. Just, you know, if the peaks are a little smaller, then it follows that the valleys can be higher. So the other thing that you're going to want to do is remove the, depending on the style, but a lot of hip-hop, a lot of music, you remove the breaths from. So I've cut, here's a breath, and we'll listen to it with it in, which totally kind of distracts from the flow. So one option you have is muting it, and let's listen to that. Now, in a lot of super modern, tight, highly produced types of music, certainly a fair amount of hip-hop, any sort of pop these days, they would probably just go ahead and mute it. But I'm a little more old school. This song's a little raw, so what I'd like to do is just take the volume way down. It's going to be almost imperceptible, but people do breathe, and I kind of want that there. It's part of life. It's, you know, we're recording life here. I'm not trying to create some completely artificial sound. So let's listen to it now, just really turn down.
I've never seen. We try to connect with.
And we'll solo it.
We try to.
So it's just a very subtle breath now instead of a larger one, but I think it's better that way. Now let's also listen here.
Best.
So we can try and take some of the beginning of that sound out.
The best things I've ever seen.
And is this? Sometimes there's a final consonant that you want to take out, and I'm not sure if this is a breath or a consonant, but let's listen.
Among the.
That's a breath, so we'll get that back down, and I want to see if I can find an example of a final consonant for you guys.
We try to connect with that, ruin it. No, you know that's obscene.
And let's pull this back. This takes, you know, this will probably take you listening through the song 3 or 4 times and making these little minor edits. It's really time consuming, but it totally pays off. I'm about halfway through what I would do on this song. So there's still definitely edits to be made.
No, you know that's obscene. Try to move. You.
So let's obscene here.
It's obscene.
And what's going on right here?
Try to.
And this again is a phrase where you could just bring it down.
It's obscene. Try to move. You try to do it. I'm underwater while snorkeling and just some fluid. Ooh, it's cool. I'm eating cool with who are these?
That's probably a breath.
These mother.
Yep.
Fucking kings.
And so here, we'll just fade it out a bit. You can see a little bit of it.
These motherfucking kings sitting around.
Here, sometimes I think there's a rhythmic purpose to muting it because it makes the voice drop in more, so you do need to be selective. Sometimes you definitely do want to mute it, even if you're going for a raw sound. But let's just listen a little bit more.
Me asking things. What is this, the Spanish Inquisition? I'm not ready for the wings, so I jump.
For the wings, that sounded a little.
Ready for the wings.
Maybe let's fade that a bit.
Ready for the wings, so I.
Even so, this final consonant of wings, it's not adding as much. So let's just fade that out a bit.
Not ready for the wings, so I jump without.
Maybe even pull it down, and that gives a little more space for the next line, which is even so I jump, which is evocative, and you want to kind of have the vocal actually jump into that space.
Ready for the wings, so I jump without.
Let's fade it even more, bring it down a little bit more.
For the wings, so I jump.
And fade this as well a bit.
Ready for the wings, so I jump with.
Now we can take these two, go to comp edit, right there, and using these two, no, come on now. If we click join, comp edit. So what we want to do is zoom in a little bit closer here and just, let's see how this
So
sounds.
I jump with it. Ready for the wings, so I jump without them. I do it.
Now here's a breath which I like, and I might actually want to turn up a bit. Let's see.
Without them, I do it. There's no fucking.
Let's see.
So I jump without them. I do it. There's no fucking.
And let's try and mute it just for.
Jump without them. I do it. There's no fucking.
All right, let's just turn it way down.
Jump without them. I do it. There's no fucking doubting. Me and Icarus climbing the mountain. We come.
And is this a breath?
Mountain. We coming.
Yeah.
Like oh fucking shouting. Tactics about him.
So yeah, this is really, you just have to kind of go through and listen to the song very carefully. Listen for all sorts of extra sounds. Maybe there's something in the room. Maybe somebody closes the door. Maybe the keys were jiggling. It's a great idea before you start a recording session to have the recording artist, whether they're a guitar player, vocalist, whatever, take everything out of their pockets, keys, cell phone, that sort of thing. Turn off the cell phone, because jiggling keys could ruin a take, so could a cell phone going off. So yeah, let's just listen a little bit longer.
Know that we coming, now the bow bends. Cause it's crashing on rocks, we do it like I'm just fucking passionate flocks coming.
So, let's see.
We do it like I'm just...
I don't know why.
Crashing on rocks, we do it like I'm just fucking passionate.
Let's turn this one up a little bit.
Fucking passionate flocks. Crashing on rocks, we do it like I'm just fucking passionate flocks coming after me. Rhyme, fucking spitting apathy. Never stopping, there's no mapping me. I'm coming like he raps with heat.
And let's turn up heat a little bit. Even though he does emphasize it, I want to emphasize it a little bit more.
There's no mapping me. I'm coming like he raps with heat.
Maybe even a little bit more. He raps with heat.
To me, I'm coming like he raps with heat. Yeah, you know we got it.
And here's a breath, but this is a great breath, and I turned it way up. So let's listen without the breath.
Coming like he raps with heat. Yeah, you know we.
That's one way of listening to it, but as a producer, this is sort of a choice you make, and here the breath draws you in, I think.
Like he raps with heat. Yeah, you know we got to keep off. You know.
Let's see what I muted out here. This might be a final consonant that I was looking for to show you guys.
Got to keep off.
Yeah, so keep. That P at the end of keep.
Got to keep off.
It's not adding anything, just the pop there. Even though I used a pop filter, pops are going to get through. So just sort of brought that down, muted it. You could also just take down the level, but I muted it.
Got to keep off. You never seen them doing it. We fucking these storks to bring their babies back. Understand we do it, bringing rabies rap. Motherfucking fluid ruin, losing all.
So yeah, at the end of the day, editing vocals to make them sound good is just really a time-consuming process. There's no magic button. A compressor can't do this nearly as well as the human hand and human judgment. And then from here, probably what you want to do is the volume is more or less automated, but then you're going to want to go to the mixer and actually, towards the end, right-click, automate the fader, and you're going to want to, just play with it a little bit, perform it almost. And these will be subtler changes than the ones that you've already done. And obviously, you should still probably use a compressor. They're just so fast and easy. But this lets you sort of have the song within a more consistent range. And that can really make the compressor sound better because the peaks aren't ruining everything. If everything is closer to a middle, then you can bring everything up. You get a louder, more consistent vocal. You use the pauses to emphasize the rhythm and the storytelling and make the performer basically sound as good as you possibly can. And that's what you're really about, making the song great and making the performer sound great. So hopefully you found this information interesting. If you did, please don't hesitate to comment, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. If you have any vocal tips, I'd love to hear them. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.